Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Max Moreau. With me is Philip Wilson and Jeffrey Hawthorne.
I have no idea what to do with my hands.
Well, you made a thumbs up, so that's better than nothing. That's better than some people.
This one can only go like this high, so...
You can see an arm. He's gone full arm for you guys today.
You actually saw two arms, thank you very much.
That's crazy. 2 arms. All right, so what are we doing? So I'm going to switch to my screen, and first off, I put a little link in the description. Edgar Onukwugha, I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm very sorry if I am. He's a longtime fan of the show. He actually did the boss for our Star Fox game. He created that mall that we ended up turning into a boss. And he just wanted to show what he had set up here, and I'm not going to be working off of this because he just basically set up a little shooting range here. But he's already ahead of us, and actually he got this done very quickly. But he has this neat little indicator that like shrinks when you have a target, and then he's got individual scoring on the segments.
Wow, that's loud. Does the sound actually coming through the microphone properly?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, It should be going the
Okay.
analog path. So yeah, and it's a pretty cool little setup. And so I went ahead and I put his Unity package in the description. So if you want to check it out, I recommend that you do so, just because it helps to get another view on how someone else might organize a similar project. And he definitely has a different organizational style than me, but it's still a very good one. And he also knows to use some of the tricks I have rarely used on the show. Like he's got these nice little slider bars for the blink time and blink exit time limit here. And those are actually really easy to implement. I just always forget that they're easy to implement because they didn't used to be easy. You used to have to make a editor script that was separate that would basically tell how you draw the properties. But you can actually do it using a property for certain things. So if you do range 0 to 0.5, it makes it so that this becomes whatever happens after this will become a range slider. So it'll have this range that goes between the two values that he said, and that's nice.
Let's see it again real quick.
So it's just range 0.5. Nice. You give it the full range. So like if we wanted to make it go to like 20, we could do 20 here.
But we aren't going. Oh, we are.
I'm just going to do it real quick. And then this will change so that, and see now it looks like it's really low because it can go all the way to 20.
Yeah.
So cool. But yeah, so check that out. It's good. Good, as I said, it's good to get kind of a variety, like see how other people organize their projects as well. So, and thank you, Edgar, for sharing this with us. So, I'm going to not save that, and we're going to go into the project at large, which is probably, I don't even remember what we had in here. So we got the shooting gallery thing. We're going to hit play, and what we had last time was. We had this target that breaks and falls into the background, this one that explodes, and this one that also explodes. I swear it was supposed to do something different. Yeah, this is supposed to be a flip target.
All I know is that I remember this concept and I was excited.
Yeah, I don't know why that was on there. So I'm going to remove Give on Collide, and let's see if they all behave the way that we kind of want them to. Yay! Yeah, now they all work right. Cool. And this is just getting the very basics in. So we have an interface now where we can click anywhere and it shoots where we click. We have 3 basic targets that we were setting up, mostly as just a test of our shooting thing, honestly. But I just wanted to get something in there so that we had something to work with. And I'd probably like to get. I want to do some cool stuff on this. So the goal is to make this a light gun game like House of the Dead.
Or Virtua Cop.
Or Virtua Cop. Or any of those
Area
games.
51,
Area 51. Or,
except with less FMV.
Or how about Revolution X with less Aerosmith?
Less Aerosmith, less using the CD as your weapon.
Oh, dude, CDs are awesome, though.
But they aren't a feasable weapon unless you are shooting them out of a gun that's shooting them insanely fast. Which that's what you were doing.
Yeah, that's the game, man.
It's so... Aerosmith, Revolution X, yeah.
Game over, yeah! Alright.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
That's not the game over from that game.
No, that is from Sega Rally.
That is correct. Alright, so I'm going to open up a script from this project just so that this project reloads here. Give on Collide. So we only have 2 scripts right now. I'm going to quit this.
What is it going to give you on Collide?
All we have is gib on collide and shoot at click position. These are the only 2 scripts in the project so far. The way we did the logic for these things is not really logic at all. This one is, because this one is using gib on collide. These ones are actually just physical simulations. And so gib target has a... sorry, not gib target. That's the one example that's not like this. Break target has a fixed joint that is breakable. And flip target is a hinge joint that is not breakable. And so the one with the hinge joint will stay in place. We've got it set up so the joint's at the bottom here. And the one with the fixed joint will stay exactly where it's at unless it's hit with enough force to actually break it. So in this case, it's enough force to break it. We actually tested, I think, making that a little bit stronger just to see what it would look like. I just want to do that again real quick. Let's set this to 50. Is that high enough? Yeah. You can see that, we actually were able to get enough force to actually break it, but you see that it actually just kind of wiggles a little bit in place. So I'm going to switch that back to 25 again. And what did I say in the description of this episode? I think I said something along the lines of we were going to add more dynamic stuff like moving around or something. Is that what I said? Let's find out. Because Phil's not doing his job.
What did I do?
I'm kidding. Yeah,
what
dynamic
was my
scene.
job?
Read the page for me.
Yeah, I could do that. Sorry, I was.
No, that's fine.
Looking at my
Basic
phone.
environment and moving the player through it.
All right. So that's what we're doing.
So let's make an environment.
All right. So we're gonna make a really stupid basic environment to start with. As we progress on this one, I think I might play around with what we can find on the asset store for free as well, just to see if we can actually make something that looks like something. But for today, we're gonna make a hallway, and our hallway is going to be defined.
Want to start with the asset star? We could go deluxe all. We could just
let's
go all out.
Let's just get a hallway done, and then we'll browse the asset store once we have a basic right turn in the game.
All right.
So let's see what we got. So I'm going to create a cube, and appears that it put that cube right on the target. It looked weird because it just made the target disappear here, but it's actually a cube.
That is actually a cube?
Yeah, it's a cube. So we got this cube, and this is going to be a floor or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So let's just put it down like -2. No, negative. I don't know, 4.
-4, -5.
That's gonna be 2. So where's our camera right now? I put it at 0, didn't I? Yeah, I did. All right. So let's actually put the camera at 2.
So the camera in this case is going to be the player.
Let's move these guys back up to just match it for right now. The reason I'm doing this is because our camera's probably going to be basically a man in this game.
Yeah, that's what I just
said. We're using 2 meters is typically, I mean, it's excessive, but it's a good starting point for head height, just for the start here.
Are we going to be actually using the first person controller? Probably not, because we're going to be mostly moving along a track, right?
Yeah. Let me put this down 0.5, -0.5, and we're just going to expand this out to be a floor. I could use a plane for this as well. I'm just using a cube because cubes. This is probably way too big, but yeah, it's like half a football field.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Alright, so we've got this, and let's go ahead and make this into a horribly claustrophobic room by just copying it and pasting it again. And we'll just do 1 and 15.
Make that cactus game.
Cactus Hospital?
Yeah. That cactus game where you're in a hospital.
Oh, Mondo Medicals? Yeah. Very gray walls in that game. Yeah. That's a great game. If anyone has not played it, you should. Especially if you know of Cactus from his other titles, such as...
Hotline Miami is his big one.
There you go. Thanks for taking the wind out of my sails, man.
I did. I knew it so quick, and I was excited. I love Hotline Miami.
It's a great game. Alright, so let's just do that. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? And I'm just going to duplicate this one, and we're just going to move it up.
This is just kind of proof of concept stuff right now.
Exactly. We're whiteboxing, as the industry term is called. That's when you...
Not black boxing.
Or gray boxing, or... I've heard gray boxing, I've heard white boxing. I haven't heard black boxing because that has a different connotation. So.
It does. Mm-hmm. Black box
And look,
is usually mostly
we're actually more
testing.
realistic than most games because we have a basement.
It has a basement.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. There we go.
We actually did not build the building directly on the soil,
Let's just do
which you never do in real life anyway. So, well, typically.
There we go. All right,
You can
so
do it. Okay, sometimes you do it.
so now we got this little thing.
Buildings.
I'm going to just move our targets temporarily. I'm just going to hide them for right now. And I'm going to save scene, save project, and I'm just going to basically do the same thing again. So I'm just going to, first I'm going to make this easier on myself. I'm going to create an empty game object. We're going to call this room 1. And I'm going to really should call it hallway run. And then we're going to duplicate this and call it room 2. And I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees, negative 90. I don't think it really matters. It looks the same on both sides. And we're going to move it in. And if I hold the... Wait.
What's up with the...
what is the key for
the arrows
snapping?
look not like they're... Oh, now they're good.
That was weird.
Do you see what I was talking about? The arrows looked off?
I did see something. I definitely saw them flip or something.
Yeah. Why isn't it moving along the plane that you expect it to?
That's a good question. I think it was. The question I'm having is, why isn't it snapping, or is it snapping? It is snapping. It's just gigantic. All right. Just get this somewhere at this corner here. It doesn't have to be perfect, right?
Nope.
And then I'm just going to create one more cube. This will be a little atrium you can see out to the sky on the sides. I'm not going to bother boxing it in. So let's just create a new cube. 3D object cube. Thank you, Unity, for finally revamping that menu. It needed your help, and you gave it to it. So let's just do 5 by 5. No. 10 by 10. 15 by 15. Somewhere in there. That looks good. That looks promising. There we go. And it's not at the right height, though. Negative 0.5, I think, is what I used. My theory was 0 is the ground, and since the cube has a thickness, I put it halfway into the ground. So, all right. So we got a very basic game space now. So, so this is another brand of rail shooter, right? We don't have direct control of the character. We only have control over what the character is shooting. So, so the most basic setup for this is just to actually drive the game with animations, which is probably how we're going to set this thing up. We could have. There's a lot of different ways we could do it.
You can do it with like
we could do it with splines or nodes or
You could have, well, I mean, theoretically, you could, if you do it with nodes and some interpolation, you could have branching paths. Like, a really good example of this, actually, if any of you guys have a chance to play Die Hard Arcade, there's a debug mode in the second Die Hard game, which is a first-person shooter that actually allowed you to set waypoints if you go into the debug mode, and you can essentially make your own level.
I did not know that.
Of that game, and it's a really fascinating experiment, and it'll actually... If you have a way to access this game for like the PlayStation 1, you should just try it out, just because it's a really interesting editor that they allowed all the debug tools that it looked like they use in development into that second game. Yeah, check it out.
Cool. So, did they release that on Dreamcast, or did they? No, that was a different Die Hard game.
It was the Die Hard trilogy, I should say, is what the one for the PlayStation is called that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I swear that was on Dreamcast.
Die Hard Arcade was on Dreamcast.
Weird. Huh. Okay. So, so anyway, our shoot at click position already takes our, well, let's double check that. Main screen to world point. This should work in any orientation, but let's actually test that. We didn't actually test that yet. So I'm going to rotate us like 90 degrees and just make sure that we can still shoot. Okay, good. Good sign. Oh, yeah, we actually have all our balls stacking up now.
Oh, how nice.
All right, so let's make a really stupid basic animation for this character. Oh, wait, I'm looking in an entirely different direction than I thought I was. I attached the hallway to the wrong place. Well, that means we're changing the starting position. So our starting position is going to be here, somewhere.
Worst things
flip you around.
in this world.
180. All right, and this is the main camera, but it's also our player. Our player is a camera. We can probably get away with that throughout the course of the game. But in the interest of the types of things that can happen during the course of creating a game, I actually am not going to do that. I'm going to create a parent object for it. We're going to call this player. I'm going to have the player, we're going to do it standard character style, just in case we decide to put a character in here at some point in the future. So what that means is I'm going to make him so that he is on the ground. And I want to put him in a similar position. Here, let's just do 17 even. So 2, 17, 0. I just want the player to be at 17, 0, 0. And he's rotated 180 degrees, so is the main camera. So now I can put the main camera on the player. Global. Okay, so I think it was sometimes showing me the local, even though it should have been showing me the global.
Weird.
I don't know. I didn't change anything, so I'm going to switch that to local so we know which way it's actually facing, so we don't get too confused. So the reason I've done this is so that we can actually tag this as a player and use that potentially in the future. Main camera is already tagged as main camera. That's a built-in tag. You really shouldn't change it because camera.main, if you use this, which I use this quite a bit, all this does is a tag search. It really does. Like, it just looks for something called main camera. We could call something else main camera, and it would totally get the main camera and be confused that there's not a camera on it. So, or not the main camera. So here we go. We've got basic hallway. So I'm going to let's just make an animation that gets us out of the hallway. So I'm going to add.
Man, I really want to play that second Die Hard game from Die Hard Trilogy now.
Okay. Stay focused.
I am. I'm focused. I'm thinking about shooters, light gun shooters.
I know, it's cool. It's cool. Bring anyone else who likes light gun shooters. Tell us your light gun shooter experiences, I guess, in the comments.
Yeah, you absolutely can. That would be great.
Actually, something else I wanted to do on the show. There actually are light guns you can get for PC, and the way we're setting this up actually works pretty well with them. So
how does that technology work?
Most of them, because PCs typically run LCD displays, which makes it very difficult to do the standard scanline tricks that they used to do. They actually have an external sensor that you hook up next to your. It's like a Wiimote thing.
Interesting.
And then you calibrate it.
Yeah, there was a Jurassic Park arcade one, wasn't there?
Yes, there was.
There absolutely was. There was one where you're
With
like in a
actually
Jeep.
big, thing that you got in. I remember playing that somewhere and thinking it was pretty fun.
It was awesome. Yeah, light gun games are really awesome in short periods of time.
My favorite light gun game of all time is Lucky and Wild.
Lucky and Wild. Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a light gun driving game.
It's not Chiller.
No, it's not Chiller. Oh, man.
I have to bring that up always.
I'm so happy that I got to meet the guy who made that game.
He was a teacher of yours.
Yes, and he's dead now, unfortunately.
Which is unfortunate.
Christopher Earhart, he was super awesome. So, I lost my train of thought. We're making an animation here.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to just do this the lazy way. I'm going to go to animation, going to attach it over here.
Oh, we don't want to hook this thing up with nodes and interpolate?
We may do some nodey stuff later, maybe. Especially if we had some sort of like cover system like Time Crisis series has or something.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
God, we're going to talk this game up to the point where I'm just going to be like, nope, we're switching to something else. I'm tired of this one.
I love rail shooters.
All right. Phil's going to keep me on task on this one. So, what are we doing? Player. So we've got this animation thing. If we hit record, it'll automatically say, hey, what do you want to call your animation? So let's call this animation sequence. I'm going to call it level 1 sequence 1. And so this created a couple things for us. It didn't explicitly create level 1 sequence 1. I told it to do that, but it automatically created a player controller for us. So I'm going to go ahead and create a folder here and start organizing these things. We're going to do animations.
That is a good game. Loki Oler. I don't even know how to say this. There's just all capitals. It says not exactly a light gun shooter since the gun acts like a joystick, but my favorite is Gunblade New York.
That's the one with the gigantic...
I'm pretty sure. I think that
oh, wait,
arcade...
no.
Gunblade New York.
No, wait.
Now I'm going to look it up.
I was thinking of LA Machine Guns. I wasn't thinking Gunblade.
No.
Gunblade's a helicopter...
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so create folder...
Yes. I loved this game because you could put 2 coins in and play both players, have 1 gun each arm. It's
Nice.
amazing.
Animations, materials. What are we doing? New folder. Animation controllers.
Oh, and this looks like it is like LA Machine Guns. It looks like that's what they're put it on. Oh, Gunblade New York and LA Machine Guns were on a Wii disc. That's a compilation. Interesting.
All right. So, LA Machine Guns, I didn't play Gunblade as much as I played LA Machine Guns. LA Machine Guns, my favorite thing to do was try to get the lowest negative score possible. Because you could just keep hitting the civilians, and you would just keep getting negative, 1,000 points, and you could just, and the score would go negative. It was great.
And we also have a Lethal Enforcers mention as well.
Lethal Enforcers.
Epidemics.
That was what the Reload was from, by the way.
Reload?
Yeah.
Really?
So, that's what I was trying for.
Would it say reload? Reload?
It was Reload! Or something like that. I don't know. I probably have it wrong. I haven't played it in a long time.
I didn't play a lot of Lethal Enforcers.
There's a lot of games that say Reload, so I really shouldn't say that it's Lethal Enforcers, but they were just so emphatic about it.
They were very excited.
Yeah. So, we're back here, we're recording. So, you see that we have this clip here, level sequence 1. Also, if we open up our animation controller... That's not the controller. If we open up our animation controller, you'll see that we have our states and stuff, and we have just this one state that it created for us. If you hit record and you haven't attached an animation or an animator to an object, it will automatically attach that, so it attached an animator. If you already have an animation on the object, that's the only time that record will just create a clip and then allow you to use an animation. Otherwise, it will default to animator. Animator is the new hotness, I guess. It's got the state machine stuff. Animations are just one-off type animations. Animator is definitely what we're going to be using in this case, because what I am going to try and do is drive a lot of our game logic using the state machine here, basically. And what we'll do is we'll basically have a call that just says go to next, play to next scene, and then when we set that variable or boolean, it will play the next animation in the list. So it'll be a very linear diagram, unless we have some branching. But for the most part, it'll just be this. So level 1, sequence 1. What we're going to do is I'm just going to move the player, and let's see what we got. This is going to look really bad the first time we do it. So I'm going to move the player over here. Wait, that's not what I want. I need to move the player just a small amount to get a keyframe. Can I just add a keyframe? That'd be too easy. Oh yeah, I know I can't just add.
That would be too easy.
I know I can't just add a keyframe. They only add the stuff that actually has changed. So if I move something, you'll just get player position, and then I could probably add a keyframe. But so we'll just add the first one there, and then I'm just going to rough this out real quick. So 1 second in, we'll move to this corner, and then another second in, we'll rotate. That's way too long for the rotate,
so
way too
fast.
short for the move, but it's fine. That's the wrong 90. Negative 90? Yeah, something like that. So, now we have rotation as well. And unfortunately, okay, yeah, that looks right. Looks like it did things right. Except for our initial rotation should be 180. So, rotation at... Wait, what? Am I not adding the first frame for these keys? Hold on. Okay, I am. It just looks off for some reason. We want this to be 0 here. And then, no, not 0, 180. So let's see what this does if we just... that looks like it's decided to rotate the wrong direction there. It happens.
Yeah, we could stop halfway in between and set it the right direction.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll just, instead of setting it the right direction, we will just set this goal to
positive 90?
270.
Oh.
Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's what we want. So now we're going to get this really crazy RoboCop thing. That's not... I don't know what that is, but that's too fast.
It looks like we're going down the same hallway over and over.
It does kind of look like that, but we're not.
I totally want to go down the same hallway over and over and over again.
I don't know.
I was playing too much PT, apparently.
I'm subscribed to Perfect Loops on Reddit, and I've been thinking I need to make some Perfect Loops. So this.
Did you play PT ever? The PS4
I did.
Silent Hills demo?
I haven't played it myself. I watched
Or teaser?
Penguin Z. That guy, he did a playthrough, and
pretty cool. Like
yeah.
I think Okay, I need to talk about this some other time because I
Yeah,
will
it's
sit
not
there
really.
and talk.
It's not a rail shooter.
No, but
so
it is
you can't use that
infinite
excuse
loop
on this
hallway.
one.
Infinite loop hallway.
Fair enough. We've just made a game that was made by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro,
Not even close.
and it's only been 24. You just compared it to it, so
I said it's
that's
like
good enough.
it. I didn't say it was.
I bet you
that
they
game.
took more than 2 hours making theirs.
Yeah, they did, and they used the Fox engine.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
So we have this animation, and it looks terrible. So we hit play, and it goes, ah! Then it just loops. So the reason it's looping is because if we go in here, it says loop time. We're going to uncheck that. So if we hit play now, it should go, and then just stay right there.
You know what would be a fascinating setting for a shooter, light gun shooter?
What?
Space with zero gravity.
That'd be cool. Very cool. As a matter of fact, it's been done once.
Which one?
The railgun version of Dead Space has a sequence.
Okay, how about... Oh, well, the whole thing needs to be that way. And what if
Okay.
your gun was also a grappling hook that grappled on the walls?
Well, then it's not a rail shooter.
It might be.
It
It might be. It's a new...
All right, you
It's
can
a
make
new.
new things.
It's a new rankle off the rails.
Hey man, I mentioned a rail shooter that is a part driving game, part
That's
rail
true. That is
shooter.
true.
So it can be done. All right, so we have this.
Anything
It
can
does.
be done
So
when
let's
you put
make it
your
look a
mind to it.
little bit less terrible. So first of all, we shouldn't start rotating until about halfway through. So I'm just going to slide this key over to here, and so now if we go, we'll walk forward and then turn right. That makes a little bit more
Yeah,
sense.
that makes a little bit more sense. I agree.
And that's way too fast. So we're going to actually space
For
this out a little
walking?
bit. Yeah.
Why doesn't it move all of it?
Why would it move all of it?
I don't know. It's right that it's not doing it. I'm so happy it's not assuming. When I say that, this is not real. Like, I really am happy it does not automatically assume that it knows what we want. 'Cause
Alright.
that is just a death sentence in computer programming or in computer stuff, because it never is what you actually want.
So move forward, and then we turn right. To
Actually
turn a
want the
little bit
turning-
earlier.
Oh, really? I was going to say you should make the turn go faster.
Yeah, the turn should go faster too.
Doesn't feel fast enough. Well, that's going to be too fast. Maybe not. Not bad. Not bad. You see what's down the hall fairly quickly.
Yep. I'm gonna go with this for right now.
All right.
We can always tweak and play later when we have a much less testy setup. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully in the future we'll have something a little bit fancier looking. We could also add some view bob. There's a lot of things that we could do that would.
Yeah, you could
that
actually
would
add a
improve
sub
this.
animation that would make
Yep,
it like,
we could
kinda
add a
bob
sub
for a little
animation,
bit.
or we could even just like have the main camera have a bob on it because we're moving the player, which is a higher thing than that, and different things like that. All other things we might do on the show. A lot of light gun games, when enemies show up on the screen, it kind of moves your attention to them. So like you might be in a static location, but they try to free the camera as much as possible.
Virtua Cop was...
Virtua Cop did it a lot.
Yeah. That
Virtua
game
Cop
will
actually
start zooming
Yeah, it
in
does
on
zooming in on the
characters.
characters and stuff, and we could actually do that kind of programmatically. We don't even necessarily have to make that
That's not an
a
animation.
custom thing.
That could just be...
Yeah, it
camera
could just be
zoom.
like look for possible enemies within the camera, choose an enemy.
Well, it's
zoom.
actually usually
Yeah.
the most threatening
Yeah,
one in
yeah.
Virtual Cop. Or Virtua Cop,
Virtua
not
Cop.
Virtual Cop.
All right,
because
so I'm going to
that's
put
a
our
different
targets
thing.
back up.
Are
And
they
they're
targets?
totally in the wrong place now because they were facing the old direction.
We just need to move them.
Yep, so I'm just going to rotate them. Bam, done. All right. And so if we hit play right now,
We go right.
we go right through them. Although I got one on the way out, I swear. Yeah, I killed it. It's there. It's not there anymore. See,
Nice.
totally got the gib target. So obviously we don't want to move right at the start. So let's open up our animation controller. And let's create a new state. I'm going to create an empty state. We're going to call this start.
Start
New
state.
state.
Start state.
Start state. Is that really what
Sure.
we're going to call it?
I don't care.
I'm going to call it start. So, and then
doesn't
we're going to
matter,
right
we
click
can
and we're
always
going to
name it later.
set as default. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to create a parameter. I'm going to try triggers. This is a safer episode to do triggers on. We can always gut them and change them to booleans. I've had trouble with triggers not working, and typically we've had to gut them and change them to booleans at some point on the show. But
I shouldn't laugh. It's not really that funny.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
I have trust issues with computers. Sometimes I don't necessarily trust that they're going to
advance.
That they're going to do what I think they're going to do.
So we're going to call the parameter advance, and I'm going to make a transition to level 1 sequence, and we're going to look at our transition here, and all we're going to do is advance. That's all it cares about. Triggers, if they're working correctly, will automatically be false until you set them to true, and then they're true for 1 frame, and then during that 1 frame, whatever logic should
Did we
kick
try
off.
this with the 2D platformer? With
We tried this with the 2D platformer right when this whole new interface had been introduced,
that.
and we had some trouble. I also tried it with some later projects of my own that also ran into some trouble, even after some updates. So this may not be permanent. Even if we use a Boolean, it's going to be exactly the same. It's just we're going to have to set that false ourselves. That's the only big difference.
Yep.
So what we're doing is, so we need to actually make it so that we can advance. So let's figure out a strategy here. So let's do advance on no children. That sounds like a really weird phrase, but I'm describing what this thing is going to do.
No, it's a good thing. That's a life lesson. You should never make advances on children.
Oh, yes.
Advance on no children.
No advance on children. There we go. All right, advance on no children. So what this is going to do is, in the update...
I'm sorry for laughing.
It's fine. We're just going to do if transform.childCount is less than or equal to 0. I don't know why it would be less than 0, but...
You never know. You never know. You
supposed
never
to do
know.
it, so.
Yeah.
You know what? It's better to err on the side of less than
Yeah.
in that case, or else you end up with Sinistar.
Man, seriously, if child count ever ends up in the negative, I am going to be calling Unity these guys, because that's really scary if that happens.
It should never ever happen.
So if the child count is less than or equal to 0, what we're going to do is so this will be attached to
So should we call the script advance on no or negative children?
no or negative children.
Wow.
No. Even though that's technically
That
more
is technically
accurate.
what it's doing.
All right, so what we're going to need is
That
we're
is
going to
very
need this
descriptive.
to affect the player animation, basically, to go to a new sequence. So what I'm going to do is we're going to assume that the player stays relatively constant. So I'm going to create a start here where we grab the player and put them in a temporary variable, or rather grab the player's animator. So we're going to do, I'm going to create a private animator, target animator, and we're going to just target animator equals find.
Why don't we just make the target animator public so the script is more general?
Actually, it's a good question. The thing is, there's going to be probably a lot of groups of enemies that end up telling us to advance in different parts of the level, and I don't want to have to differentiate between them. I just want them to, if they're
So you could do public and then in start, if target animator is null, then grab it from the player.
This is true. Let's do that. We're going to be using this, though, this way. But, yeah, let's make it more generic. So this one, you can explicitly test it. And then if target animator does not equal or equals null, then we try and find GameObject.find GameObject with tag player get component.
Epidemic says, "Do not advance on the empty children."
Oh no!
Oh, those poor empty children.
All right, so target animator equals GameObject.find GameObject with tag player dot get component animator. And actually, let's go ahead and just in case we destroy the player at some point, let's put this in the update loop.
Well,
Most of the time, this will
probably
just drop
will
out.
be destroying the player at some point if we're gonna have an implementation that actually has like respawning and stuff like that. Yeah, we could just
honestly
deactivate
if you
the
think
player.
about what happens to the screen in most of these games is they put up a big number on the screen that says 9, 8, 7, and then
and then you continue going.
Yeah. So
never mind.
so if child count is less than or equal to 0, we're going to do target animator dot actually, let's check it here. Why would we check this every frame when we only technically need it when we need it here? Alright, so target animator dot trigger, set trigger, advance. There, we're done. It's a lot of work for very little. So we're going to create a empty game object. And we're going to use this, we're going to call this room 1 enemies. And we're going to put our give target, break target, and flip target inside that. I didn't really care too much about where this was positioned. I probably should have, but I didn't. So we've got those, and okay, so this isn't going to work right off the bat. It would work if we had all the give targets. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that as our degenerate case first. Made an assumption here. I'm just going to do give targets for right now. We will get rid of these. Delete. We have them in prefabs, don't worry. We haven't gotten rid of them, folks. They're still there. So we've got these give targets, and
Let's move their position so they're not all on top
yeah,
of
let's
each
do
other.
that. So -3, -4, 3.5, 3.5. All right, so now if we hit play, we get nothing, and when we shoot these guys, we still get nothing because we didn't actually attach the script.
Oh, that.
So
would
if we
probably
go
make
advance on no
difference.
children on our room 1 enemies, you put this on the thing that contains things. We hit play, and we do bam, 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 and there we go. We've advanced, and there we go.
It worked.
It worked. Everything was great.
Let's make another set of targets.
All right, let's make another set of targets. I'm just going to duplicate room 1 enemies here.
That seems appropriate.
And then we'll just go into our scene here and just drag these things.
These are
somewhere
the new
else.
ones,
Yeah,
right?
these are the new
Yeah.
ones.
Which will be called Room 2 enemies, I'm assuming.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah, I mean, optimally we'd want to say something 90. Is that right? Yeah.
I just guess with
let's
those
do
things.
this here.
You know that?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna hit play.
It's the dirty, dark secret.
So bam, bam, bam. And
Bada
if we
boom,
had another
bada boom, bada
thing to
boom.
do, I'm
You
sure
know-
that it would do it actually. So let's.
You know what we could do?
What can we do?
We could, like, have the player rotate, and then the ceiling becomes the floor. You can have all sorts of real fun stuff happen in these kinds of games.
Yeah, we could.
Think about the Dino Crisis 3 concept of a spaceship that's changing the whole time while you're in a a light gun game.
I don't think I've played Dino Crisis 3.
Dino Crisis 3, when they were originally developing it, had this concept of a constantly moving ship, like where rooms would change all the time. And I actually liked the concept, but I don't think that's what the game shipped with. So
Cool.
Did you play Prey?
yes, I did. I liked Prey. I thought that was a decent game.
Prey had a lot of cool little things. All right, so let's
Can we make it so the animation ends a little bit closer to the corner and put in another animation
Of like a peek out animation or
that
something?
sends you into cover when you hold the button down,
Do
and
like
then plays
Time
it in
Crisis
reverse
style?
when you release the button.
That's Time
Yeah,
Crisis.
yeah.
And then both of them would have the what's
Well,
it?
would have the what?
The state that we just did, the
Advance on No Children.
yeah, the advance.
This is a script.
Well, that's
heavy
what
thing.
I was going to actually show that for the next sequence here, just by doing another very quick move here, which I'm just going to do. So we want to do another clip here. We're going to call this one level 1 sequence 2. I guess I probably should call this sequence 1 enemies and sequence 2 enemies to be consistent. But I'm not going to. So
This is probably not going to be around for always. this hallway. I mean,
first what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
And the sequences and enemies aren't always going to match up either. You might end up going into a room and then like moving throughout the room in one sequence.
Yeah. Potentially, yes. Though I'd probably name those differently. So I'm going to copy its final position here. I'm going to do copy component here where it ends up. And then what we're going to do is temporarily we're going to paste component values here so that I can just slide this thing forward some in a new animation. So we're going to create a new clip. We call this... Oh, wait, we already created that clip. So we're going to switch to that clip. And we're going to just jiggle the position ever so slightly after hitting record. Record, jiggle the position, get a keyframe in there, good.
Just jostle it a little bit.
Jostle it. And then we're just going to move it about 3 seconds. We'll just go here just to show that things are working. And so I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to put this guy back where we had him, so that would be... I wonder if I can undo to do that. That's probably dangerous. I probably would undo my changes there.
Probably.
So let's just do, what is it, 180 and 17, was it? Yeah. So if we hit play now, we should, without writing any additional code, be able to activate both of our sequences. Except for we didn't actually set that up. So we have this new animation, but we didn't set it up in our animator. So I'm going to click animator here, and we have level sequence 2. So all we have to do is make a transition from level sequence 1 to level sequence 2, and this transition will simply take the advance trigger. So if things go well, we should... Whoa! They did not go well.
What in the world?
They did not go well. Alright, so... Is this the triggers being nasty again? Alright, so I'm going to hit play. Alright, looking okay.
I think it goes through both transitions in the same frame.
Why would it do that?
Because it hates everything about us.
We have durations on these transitions. There's no way that it could be the same frame. Alright. So let's find out if it's our classic friend. I'm going to create a bool called better advance. And let's see if this solves it. So we're going to do better advance equals true and better advance equals false. We'll see if we run into the same problem. Equals true. We'll see if we run into the same problem. So to fix that, we're going to switch advance on no children. We're going to... So set trigger advance, we're going to do an update. We want target animator dot set trigger. Sorry, set bool better advance. True. So we're gonna wait, false. False. We want false there. And then we want it to be set true here.
So it's going to be calling false every frame.
Every frame, yeah. So now let's see what happens. If we hit play and we shoot these 3 things, it might still do the same thing, so let's see. Target animator advance on the children has not been assigned. Weird.
What?
Oh, that's because...
This is now
took
better.
It out of start,
yeah. So now we actually have to care.
Man, I don't want to care.
Alright, so hit play.
Apathy's the best.
Bam, bam, bam. Okay, it still broke very badly.
Terribly badly.
Okay, the looping is on us. The looping is just because I didn't actually set this thing to not loop. Alright, so...
Turn off the second transition and see if the first animation changed somehow.
Oh, just to make sure that we didn't
because it
work
looks like
something
it's
else
playing,
up. Yeah.
Going right twice.
I'm just going to delete this. Well, it did the going right twice because we had looping, so...
Oh, we have looping on the animation?
Yeah, it defaults to looping. So yeah, that definitely played the first animation there. And that definitely did nothing because we had disconnected it. Alright, so I guess we do have to make sure to Okay, I know what we can do. Let's make a transition here. What we're going to do is we're going to actually maintain the exit time. And let's just go with advanced. Let's get rid of better advanced for right now and go back to what we were doing before. Alright, good enough. Save. So we're using advanced. I want to use advanced again. I want to use advanced if we can. Because if that's not the problem, I definitely want to keep using triggers. So what this is going to do now, I'm going to add another guard here. We're going to do exit time, and I'm just going to put 1.0F. That way we will be certain that this animation is completed 100%. This might solve our problem as well. It's probably good in both cases because, as you saw before, we were sliding to the right and not looking to the right, and that's because our level 1 sequence 2 only affects the position. It doesn't affect the rotation at all.
Oh, that's lovely.
And so if we're not fully rotated, we might get in a bad state. So it's actually probably a better case to wait for exit time 1.0 anyway.
I would think so.
So let's see if this actually solves it, though. Shoot, shoot, shoot. That looks good. And we auto-advance.
Oh.
Why did we auto-advance? Oh, I know why. Okay. It's because this is still... Alright. This is all on us.
What is it really?
Advance on trigger is
this is still happening. Every time is if transferred child count. So let's create a private bool has triggered equals false.
Wow.
Or delete it when it's got no children.
That's another option.
Wow, that's really a sad state of...
to put children back onto it later?
No, let's just delete it. Let's do
Delete on death of children?
it. Yes.
That is such a sad thing.
Object. If you have no children, destroy yourself. All right.
Oh, I better destroy myself.
Play. Bam,
Have
bam,
no
bam.
children.
Yay! Bam, bam, bam.
It still did it.
Why did it do that?
I don't know.
Wait, what? Hold on.
I just want to say this real quick. My vote, node based.
All right, well,
I don't
we may
trust the
consider that. We may consider.
I know Trusty the
future.
animator.
I love the animator.
I don't trust it.
All right, so it's in start, and we're gonna let's shoot these things. We shoot.
Though
we
I am
shoot,
telling
we
you, I have a
shoot.
lot of trust-related issues.
So it plays that, and we're good, and then we do this one. Okay, we do not want that 1.0 because it actually waits for the end of that animation again anyway, even though it's not a looping animation. Why would it do that? Anyway, who cares? It's doing it. So, alright, so why is it rotating me? And it seems to smoothly rotate me, too. It wouldn't bother me if I suddenly just was looking the other direction.
It's just
But
like,
it totally goes, whoop! Why does it do that?
Well, let's see it real quick. What is the actual
Animation
level
look
2
like?
sequence or level 1 sequence 2
Alright,
animation?
level 1 sequence 2 animation has an X, Y, and Z position
Okay.
and no rotation. This one has a rotation.
But that doesn't make any sense.
I know, that's kind of why I'm freaking out.
Is it? No, it can't take. It's not taking the position from your initial spot, is it?
Well, I moved it to the other position just so that probably wouldn't be the case, and if it did, we'd change position suddenly.
That's so weird. Go back to your animation
See, as I said,
state.
I'm less bothered by it rotating and more bothered by it rotating over the course of several
Yeah.
frames. So
Go look at the animator. Can you look at the animator again real quick? And let's just play through it one more time. I want to see that how it is actually flowing through these animation states.
Bam, bam, bam.
So it moves forward, then level 1, sequence 1. It's
Bam,
actually
bam.
still repeating right now,
Well,
by
that's
the way.
yeah, and actually watch this. If I do it right at the bam, I have to wait for the whole thing before it goes because of that
And
guard
it's
we did.
clearly level 1, sequence 2 that is rotating the camera, but it doesn't look like it should be doing that in any keyframes. That doesn't make any sense. This isn't making any sense.
Where is that rotation coming from? Okay, 180, 270. And
Do we look at the curves? Let's look at the curves. Not the dope sheet, but the curves. I can't believe they call it a dope sheet, but the curves down here. What's going on?
Pretty linear.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, though. Position X is rotating.
Position X is a position.
Oh, that is a position. Yeah, that's... Never mind. There's no rotation? Where's the rotation? There is no rotation.
There's no rotation in here.
There is no rotation at all.
Isn't that just exciting? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put rotation in here explicitly and see if it fixes it. We're in classic make this problem not a problem anymore.
Is it the...
So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this 270. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to hit 270. And we're not going to change that at any point. So now we have a rotation with just a single value, which I'm going to show on the dope sheet here. And let's see if that solves our little problem. So we're going to go bam, bam, bam. And we rotate in, and we're going to go bam, bam, bam. And it worked.
It worked this time? Wait,
okay.
Wait, you said it worked?
Well, that's because I specifically put the rotation at...
That's...
It's silly, I agree. It must be something to do with the way that it's doing the blending.
Epidemic says he's pretty sure it's going back to the original rotation. I would agree with that, but
why would it do
that? Why?
It shouldn't do that, but yeah.
If you aren't explicitly stating a rotation, it should not assume anything.
Yeah.
Assumptions are always going to be the falling point in these kinds of things,
So I'm going to go ahead and remove this exit time blocker just because I don't like... Wait, why... Okay, now it'll let me remove it. Okay, cool. Yay! Alright, tools. So let's see how this does. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh. Wait, why did it automatically advance twice there? Wait, what? Oh, I deleted the wrong thing somehow.
What?
You deleted advanced instead of exit time.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I probably am just crazy. But I'm going to rewatch the video because I'm curious where I did not delete advance.
I would agree with that. It seems...
Alright, yay. Yay. Hooray. Alright, well, we've got 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and use this last amount of time to actually play around with the asset store. Let's just see
I was actually hoping that you would do that. That's what I was hoping for.
So we got basic movement. It's not that exciting yet. And we already are running into problems this early, which is, always fun. But
here's what Epidemic says. He says, I haven't figured out how to handle that, but in all my animations, they go back to their original location after they're done. Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw this out there again. I like nodes.
All right.
Mad level.
All right, so what we're going to go into is 3D models.
Environments. Oh, industrial.
We're going to get environments, and we're going to click on top free.
And then industrial.
Sorry, environments. Or do you want industrial environments?
I don't care.
Let's look at the top free industrial environments. So, top free. That's what I love about this. Is it's actually contextual to where you are at.
Oh, really?
Not a lot of people know that. Yes.
That's awesome. What's FPS hangover? Or hanger?
Hangover.
It's just, you're just like, oh, look at that.
This looks like...
Mobile-friendly FPS hanger.
Cool.
This sounds great.
All right.
Let's see what else there is to offer, but I'm liking this mobile-friendly FPS hanger.
It's in the top for the category.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Low poly city block.
Let's try some sci-fi as well.
Ooh.
That looks
low
kind
poly city block.
of nice.
These are just... Hello.
They're just free?
4 gritty, low poly urban industrial buildings. We could put snipers in these buildings.
There's so many options. So much room for activities.
Container and barrel. Sweet. Not exactly as advertised. Here, I'm going to actually go just environments and then go to top.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just to see what we're looking at. So the top paid also falls into this category, but we're going to avoid having people have to pay for anything.
Japanese otaku city, I want to see it. Look, she's so happy. Does it come with her?
Real 3D maps with beautiful textures.
No, it doesn't look like it. What do the pictures look like?
You want the web player demo?
Oh, there's a web player demo.
Run all plugins this time. And now we're going to probably be chopping up our internet.
Yeah. What about space?
Space? Okay, space.
Space.
Wait, where's space?
Well, sci-fi is probably
Sci-fi.
close as it gets. It is.
Top page,
Doing its
top
thing.
free. Destroyed city, free. Sci-fi levels, sci-fi base. I'm looking for something that's more space. Deep Space Outpost. How about we check that one
Sounds
out?
pretty sweet.
This is what Deep Space Outposts look like, evidently. They look very Gothic architecture.
It's not what I would have expected. This is exciting.
It'll be more exciting when we have time to actually play with these things.
Yeah, well,
I'm just doing a quick little flyby right now just to see if there's...
I am liking that FPS mobile industrial thing.
Yeah, I'm going to say that looked pretty good. I want to check something real quick on it. I just want to make sure that it's free, not because it's just free, happens to be free right now. Because I want this to be something that I can relatively safe. Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Cool.
I think we should get that one. But we should try the Japanese city.
Yeah, I just want to see what this is. Oh, it's still doing something.
Otaku City.
It's a big city. Have to download a whole city, so... You wouldn't download a city.
I would, though. I would also download a car if I could.
Oh, yeah, me too. I've downloaded a car and printed one.
Yeah, 3D car.
Yeah. It wasn't drivable, but...
You wouldn't download a gun. Or would I? Probably.
Alright, so here's the city.
Wow. There's a lot we could do with a... See, the nice part about these is, like, once you get an environment, it's like, wow.
How do I actually do anything?
Is it... What is it?
Well, it claims to be running at 35 frames per second. It would be very difficult for me to actually check that.
Yeah, that could just be static text that's changing. It could just be a random number generator, for all I know.
If it was, I would put the RNG somewhere between 30 and 60 as opposed to like 30 and 35. Like really, if that was what they were going for. How do I? Is this it? Is this
between 150 and 180?
Is this really all it's going to show?
You
Mode
can't
normal.
You can't.
Just gonna hit buttons.
Okay, so there's a lot we could do with this. By the way.
Yeah, I imagine there's quite a bit we could do with this.
This is not selling me on your web play or on your
on the player. Yeah, that's kind of
like seriously. This is not helping.
Well, at least it's free. We can always check it out. I guess they figure that they'll probably just check out the whole thing, but they don't actually know how people really work.
We need that FPS hanger, I think.
Okay, I'm not. We'll download that sometime between shows.
Okay.
Anyway, that's good.
Is that it?
That's it for today. Save scene, save project, and wait. Make sure we're organized. So we want this under animations. We want scripts are in the proper places. Okay, cool. So save scene, save project, and we're going to not stop streaming. I wanted to. Oh yeah, Perforce.
Perforce.
Alright, so like in game, right click, reconcile offline work. And looks good. And we're going to submit this. Set up a basic. Whoops, I'm yelling. Set up a basic movement system using the built in animator and animation clip system. All right, and that's it.
Nice.
That went fast. It's been too long.
Yeah, I haven't been here for a little while.
That's not what I wanted. So, thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully you had fun. I know that we did. And it's good to have Phil back, isn't it?
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, it even looks like his arm is like fully functional too, which is great.
It's not, though.
It's not, I know.
This is as much as it does.
Chicken wings out.
This is as high as it goes. That's not even a joke.
All right, well, we'll get to see your progress live.
I guess
because you're well,
live,
you know,
you know what I mean. I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Live times,
at intervals.
Email me pushypixels@pushypixels.com. That's an order. Email me now. What about what? I don't know. Just email me. I don't know. And thanks for joining us.
And follow me on Twitter, damn it.
Follow Phil on Twitter. Check out our Patreon thing.
Oh, Magmalemur on Twitter.
Yeah, Magmalemur on Twitter. Check out the Patreon thing. I forgot what we do at the end of these shows.
It's been a little while, so I don't have a good groove. That's why I just started yelling things out.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No, I'm glad. I'd rather...
Donate!
Yeah, do that Patreon thing or donate or whatever you could
do stuff.
And
buy Phil's game.
You can buy my game if you want.
Yeah,
it's
Robot
a game.
Robot Alone. It's
beat
awesome.
His high score.
Yeah,
yes.
Which no one has still done.
Yeah,
it's so disappointing.
Your brother came close.
He did beat me once, and then I showed him
destroyed
who made the
him.
game.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us. You guys have a great night.
Have a good
see you
evening.
on Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry for talking over you.